Hello, thanks for joining us at Hark the Lark. Hope you've followed some of our other videos, and today we're doing another in our series called What's in a Name? And we're going to take a look at a clock. In the 1870s, there was a poet-songwriter from America that traveled to England, and he went to a small town called Piercebridge and visited a hotel called the George Hotel. While he was in the George Hotel, he asked the management about a clock that was standing that wasn't working. And this is the story that management told him. They told him that in the time of the American Revolution, these two brothers named the Jenkins brothers started managing the hotel, and they had an idea that it would be neat to have maybe some furniture and a clock, an area for, to congregate, to drink, to talk. And so they got all that together. They got this beautiful clock. It kept beautiful time. It had a pendulum. And it became part of the conversation piece of that lobby. And that lasted for a long, long time. The first brother, or rather the youngest brother, died. And ironically, at the time of his death was the time in which the clock stopped keeping good time. It had been perfect up till then. Well, the other brother tinkered with it, couldn't get it fixed, but he couldn't get rid of it. It had kind of a sentimental value to him, so it just sat there. And that second brother lasted and lived 90 years. And when he died, the day he died, the clock stopped altogether. It just never worked again. And even though it was tinkered with a few times, there it stood. And yet the management that took over after the Jenkins brothers never discarded and never got rid of that clock. It just stayed in there. And so when Henry Clay Work visited and asked about it, he was struck by the story and struck by the clock itself. And so he came back to America and wrote a song about it. But to make the song more personal, he decided to make himself to be the grandson of that last brother who died. And he published this song in 1876. It sold 1 million copies. And the first 4 lines are as follows, and you'll know where we get our name. It says, "My grandfather's clock was too large for the shelf, so it stood 90 years on the floor. It was taller by half than the old man himself, though it weighed not a pennyweight more." Up to that time, these clocks had names like coffin clock, long case clock, floor clock, panel clock. And that name was just so catchy, and the song was so catchy that it just replaced it. And now we call them grandfather's clocks. And that's what's in a name. So thank you for joining us today. Please visit the other Hark the Lark videos we've done, and goodbye.